Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio, and this is the final test before we start doing broadcast every other day, all the way up to the election. So we're going to be working on that. We hope you join us each and every night. And let me say hi to some people that are already starting to go on the chat line. Ghost Eagle, how are you doing? Vegas Solar MC, how are you doing? Hope you're doing great. And some things I want to comment on as we get started here. Last night I showed you some video of protests that are going on around the country, and I can tell you it was quite interesting last night that that about 2 a.m. Central Standard Time, I was watching a Portland protest, and it was an interesting thing, you guys, because at about, I guess, 10 or 11 o'clock Portland time, after hours of protesters out in the streets just screaming, yelling, carrying on, and it was the Portland police. They tolerated all that until they started burning things. And it was as simple as burning an American flag. They set a couple American flags on fire, and evidently now the Portland police, once they light a fire, that's it. They'll announce that it's now officially a riot, and police start flooding out of the building, and wow. What they had then was the police came out, and I'll try and capture some of this video tomorrow. I did archive it, and we'll show it to you where the police started pushing them back, and I mean they pushed them back, and then some people decided to slow walk it. The police were pushing them back. There were some that decided to slow walk it, and had the police just pushing them. And if they went down, then some of them fell down, and then one broad started kicking the police, and she was carried off to jail. Literally, it was quite interesting. And she was one of the main ones that's out there screaming all night. Now, to me, that gets boring as hell. And I was getting ready to turn it off because it was boring, and then I heard Wayne, the guy that does that channel. He said, "Well, wait a minute here. There's fixing to be some action." He said the police are going to swing into action here. So it was funny. It really was. Because let me tell you one thing. Those people are brave when they're in a group. There's nothing like being surrounded by your peers and feeling, a sense of a false sense of security. Yeah. So anyway, when they do get separated, they're whining and crying and carrying on, throwing fits, and I don't think they're doing their cause any good. And so, quite the interesting thing. And what you do have to realize, and I wrote an article about today in TexasBikerRadio.org, and that article is I put the headline as can blacks do anything by themselves? Do they really have to have white people leading them? And basically, when you look at that out there, that's what you see. A bunch of young white people out there leading the charge, the tip of the spear, and You know, what they're doing is fanning the flames and hoping some young black person will, full of rage, will go act on it. Will go act on it. That's in my view. That's in my view. But I think that view may be shared by many. Shared by many. I mean, you just take a look at it and see what's going on. But you have to realize these people are in groups of 200 or 300, no matter where they're at, whether it's in New York, whether it's in Florida, wherever it's at. There may be 200 or 300 protesters out there beating on drums, yelling, screaming all night long, all night long. And so this just goes on and on and on. Now, when you realize there's 300 million people, almost 350 million people in this country, that is a tiny, tiny fraction of the population. Everybody else is out there looking at this shit and saying, what the hell? Why aren't everybody putting up with this? Why is everybody putting up with it? So I did write about it today. You know, if you would, go to texasbikerradio.org, check it out. If you like it, what I wrote, you know, like it and share it and put it out there. And, you know, and also help us with our broadcast. You can like and share this broadcast, and it helps move us on, because OG and I are going to be announcing something within the next couple of days. Like I said last night, our lawyers are looking at it and seeing what kind of ramifications of what we're talking about doing. And let me do some more here on the chat line. Brain Damage, how are you doing? How are you doing? And Moondog, yeah, Moondog, that's cool. That's cool. So anyway, what we see going on out there, and the fact is that, you know, that's a small percentage of the population, but you know, I have to realize that these people are being guided. Most of the protests now are a little bit more peaceful, even though they're screaming and yelling all night long and carried on. Some of them get arrested. But, you know, we've talked about the fact, and I've talked about it in the article, what the results are going to be of this. Because it's not going to be good. It's not going to end up good for anybody. Us as bikers, us as citizens, and for these Antifa types, these BLM types that are out there, these socialist organizations, it's not going to end up well for them. So let me say this. If Joe Biden somehow wins, if he somehow, some way slips into the presidency, the first people they're going to get rid of are these Antifa types and these BLM people. They're going to be the first ones to go, and I'll tell you why. Because they just successfully helped overthrow a presidency. Let me say this again. They helped overthrow, because I do not believe they can win this without cheating. They just can't. They can't. They can't win without cheating. And you know, that's what, as I showed last night, that's what these damn mail-in ballots are about. That's what they're about. And so, you know, I didn't solicit this. I didn't ask for it. And the post office is in on it. But I digress. And Hey, this is a final test before we start doing this on a nightly basis. Oh, let me say this to everybody. If you're going to say a curse word in a chat room, misspell it. Misspell it, because they I don't always catch them to unblock it. So, your post may not show up because of that. And as we all know, these big tech companies are censoring many conservative talk podcasts and other entities. They're messing with Right Side Broadcasting, who does all the Trump rallies. They're messing with them, and they're making it where it's hard for their subscribers to find them. And I think Jerry is new also on the chat line. And we've made some improvements here in the studio. I hope the sound is well tonight. I'm not listening to myself. I can tell that it's working. And wow. And so we're making some improvements here in the studio. And just so I can give you, for you new people, let me give you a little bit of history. OG and I have been doing these podcasts for about 7 years. And here within the last few months, we started doing more live shows. And things in the past, we did recordings, and we would post them. But here lately, the last 3 months, we've been doing the live shows, and it's fun to talk to everybody on the chat line. And, with everything that's going on now, the biker news is kind of slow. Let me tell you, I have to admit it. We would like to do more biker stories, and we do ask you to submit some stuff to us. Hey, if your club or if your group is out there doing some good things, let us know about it. Send us some video of it, and we may even bring you on the show. Yeah, and it's always cool to do that. And it's always cool to talk about the good things we do. And, tomorrow night we'll be talking about things that are near and dear to us, like working for on legislative issues for motorcyclists and motorcycle clubs. Bikers' rights, in other words. And, right now, between the COVID virus and between everything that's going on, it's kind of, that news is kind of sucking all the air out of the room. And as I wrote in that piece today at TexasBikerRadio.org, as I wrote in that today, I said, hey, we don't know whether our voice is going to be heard in this next Texas legislative session. And, our legislative body comes around every 2 years. So if we can't get our issues pushed forward, which most of our issues deal with law enforcement and the courts, which here in Texas and across the nation are crooked as hell. They are. And so we have a problem that we're trying to get solved, that we're trying to get people to listen to. We're trying to get everybody on board with it so they kind of know what's going on. We're trying to educate the public that motorcycle clubs out there, they're not street gangs in the sense you mean street gangs. They're just not. We've done videos on this. We've done everything. We've talked about it. We've protested about it, and we've done plenty of protests. Except for now, we do them the right way. We don't get out there and scream and yell in the streets and tump tables over and threaten police officers. None of that kind of BS. None of it. Not like what you see going on right now. Now, can we? Oh, yeah, we could get out there and do that. But it wouldn't be good for us. because of false narratives. And just think about it. That's what all these protesters are doing right now. They're out there spreading false narratives, their version of the truth, which is not the truth at all. That's where we're at, guys and gals, bikers and non-bikers. That's where we're at. So we hope, and we pray that our voices get heard. But at the same time, we don't need all this mess that's going on around the country. Now, we are a political motorcycle group. Our club is. We are constitutional conservatives. And if you read about us at TexasBikerRadio.org or at Sons of Liberty Riders MC, you'll find we are defenders of the Constitution and those that have had their constitutional rights violated. Now we've gone to bat for people that are bikers, and we've also gone to bat for people that are not bikers. I mean, we even went to bat for a community called Sand Branch, Texas, just south of Dallas. An old slave community that's been there since 1887. Yep. That's been there that long. And you know what they've been doing and are still doing today? They've been hauling water into their community for over 30 years. Now just think about that. That's water to drink. That's water to bathe with. That's water to flush your facilities, if you know what I mean. You got to have water to flush it down. So they're carrying water in not only by water bottles, but by the gallon. So, I mean, this has been going on for over 30 years. And the most ironic thing about it, the main person that's been blocking getting that community water is a black man named John Wiley Price here in Texas. In Dallas, as a matter of fact. He's a county commissioner. And that is amazing. I may tell you, this is worse than the Michigan thing. Well, maybe not that bad because at least the water they're getting is not poison. But let me tell you this: the reason they don't have water in Sand Branch anymore is because the county put in a water waste treatment plant next to their community and ruined the water. Their well waters that they depended on, they had wells in that community, they contaminated them. It's the most incredible thing you've ever heard about. But yet, fresh water for that community is just 3 miles away, guys. Just 3 miles away. And you're telling me the county couldn't fix that? Are you kidding me? So, I mean, we've also gone to bat for a lady that was having her house vandalized because of her political beliefs. Now, we believe everybody should be able to get out there and display their yard signs, wear whatever clothing they want to wear in support of their candidate or cause. Whatever it is, we believe you have that right, and you should not be threatened by anybody. And we had that going on up here in McKinney, Texas, and we had to go take care of it. Because we found the guy that was heading that group. It was causing all the problems. And told him, hey, we know where you live. And we're holding you accountable for everything that goes on at her house. Everything. So you better get it stopped. And guess what, everybody? It stopped. It stopped in its tracks. So that was an interesting thing. Maybe we'll show some pictures of it this week. We'll, that house and what happened there. We'll go over that. And this is crazy. Hey, Lori Bell, how are you doing, darling? Geezer's not here tonight. We'll get him in one night this week. We'll bring him around. Yeah. He doesn't say many words, but we like to have him in here anyway. Oh, yeah. It's always fun. It's always, in politics, you've got to have a good time. You can't let this wear on you, and to the point where you can't sleep at night. And I'm kind of a night owl anyway. I always have been. Even when I was a teenager. I mean, I would stay out all times of night. I would make sure my last friend was at home before I would go home. Oh, yeah. Because I didn't want anything to happen that I would miss. No. I wasn't going to miss out on it. Yeah. And so, I've always been a night owl. I think even when I was a baby, I was a night owl. Yeah. My mom said she would find me out of my bed walking around the house. Hell, that was a long time ago. Maybe I was in the living room watching Lash LaRue. And most of you out there don't know who the hell that is. But well, maybe we'll talk about that one night. But yeah, hey, over the next 30-something days, I think it's 37 now, we've got work to do. We've got to push Trump across the finish line. We cannot let these people win. The damage that would be done to our Constitution, and I'm talking about our Constitution, everybody. We will lose our Second Amendment rights. We will lose our First Amendment rights. It's already under attack by these Antifa types and the progressive left because they don't want you to be heard. It's under attack by these tech companies. They don't want you to be heard. So make sure to get us heard to share and like our videos, the things we do, and we'll try and do our best. Now, I will tell the new people because I'm self-conscious about it. I'm a 4-time cancer survivor. I just finished up my last cancer, which I got my surgery done just before the COVID crap hit. So I was lucky in a sense because if my surgery would have been delayed, the cancer would have been still growing. And what happened was I had a squamous carcinoma, and they had to go in through my neck right here and up into my jaw and cut a little piece of my tongue out. Oh, yeah. And let me tell you, that sucked. I woke up with tubes down my throat, everything else, couldn't swallow, could barely breathe. And, it sucked. Now, OG had the same cancer at the same time. No, we hadn't been messing around. Hey, look, we had the same cancer just weeks apart, but his was up on the side of his head. So he got the better deal because what happened from the surgery here, it affected my speech. I now sound like Gabby Hayes. It did affect my speech. My taste buds are gone. My saliva glands are almost gone. And so, it really sucks. Eating is not a joy anymore. It's just something I do because my taste buds are gone. It just I just eat what I think looks good or what I know I liked. So that's that. And enough about that. I mean, I, I'd much rather be talking about motorcycles. Hey, I have been in politics since I retired in 2004. Uh, I looked around there and I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with myself? And so when you retire, and this is what really happens, when you retire, you look around and you see what's going on, and you finally, instead of having your nose to the grind and working, you're looking at what's going on. And then when you do, you look at your government and you go, what in the hell? What in the hell have they been doing while I've been working and sending them money? And sending them money. What in the hell have they been doing? What a mess we're in. And let me tell everybody, like I said last night, for the first time in my lifetime, we've got a president that's working for us. We really do. Because the rest of these bastards, especially Biden and crew and all those people, they are criminals. They are criminals. They are thieves. They're the worst that you can imagine. And let's all get together and talk about that this week. Because if you're like me, you're sick and tired of it. And you're sick and tired of seeing the mess that's going on and the mess they're making of the country. All the years before Donald Trump, I hated both sides. Both sides. That's the reason we consider ourselves, mostly our group, considers ourselves constitutional conservatives. Our allegiance is not to a particular party. But what we've got to do is look out there and look for truth. Look for the truth of it all. And the truth is, the people on the left, which I used to be one of them years ago, before I got smart. Well, it was actually my job at one time because I was a union organizer. Yeah. Till I got sick of that too. And much of what you're seeing in politics today is nothing but what you're seeing out there is union tactics. It really is. It really is. So look, we want you to join us, and we'll try and post the shows before we do them. Otherwise, we'll probably be on between 8 and 10 o'clock every night, or every other night. And we hope that you join us. And join our channel so you know when something's going to be happening. And well, we can't wait for to get answers from our attorneys on whether what we've come up with is a good idea. But we'll certainly try and push Donald Trump and others across the finish line. Now, we did get news here in Texas today. A judge has blocked the attempt to keep everybody from voting straight ticket. So he's blocked that. That is a good thing, because now you can go in there and just vote straight ticket. Make it easy. Make it easy. You're either going to elect a bunch of liars, a bunch of thieves, or you're going to elect somebody that's going to be working for you and working to make this country better. And you know the thing about it is, Donald Trump will drag them along, whether they want to do it or not. He will drag them along. He's not a politician. He's not really beholden to either party. And he's gumming up the works, which I just enjoy the hell out of. I think that is just peachy. He could keep on doing it another 4 years as far as I'm concerned. Because we cannot go back, and we cannot put this in the hands of people that are going to destroy our Constitution. Because it's the only thing that's protecting us all right now from these people that would have their way with us. And I'm talking about the big techs. I'm talking about rich people working in the background. I'm talking about politicians. And I'm talking about these shitheads that are out there in the streets every night. And I promise you, when I leave my house, when I go out, I am ready, if you know what I mean. I am ready. And I'm also ready here at the house. And we're also ready in my neighborhood. We are at the ready. We're not going to let anybody come in here and mess with us. Nobody. So, hey, so if you want to have some fun tonight, go watch with Wayne. Hey, I don't mind giving him a plug. He's on YouTube, and he keeps track of all the protests. It's kind of interesting. Like I said, it gets boring. It does get boring. Because, you know, give a woman a bullhorn, and, oh, man. I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy. But, hey, pass the word, everybody, and I hate to keep saying hey. I've got to get out of that habit. I mean, I had to really work on so now I got to work on hey. But I guess I watched too many episodes of Duck Dynasty. Oh, yeah. The uncle. And so, let me see who's here. Lori Bell, Brain Damage, Ghost Eagle, Moondog, Arithmetic Word Puzzles. Welcome. And Jerry. Hey, you guys. Well, I'm going to end it here. Like I said, we'll be on at least every other night, if not every night, with and commenting on the news of the day and any biker news that may be out there. Now, we don't come on here and try and pit one club against the other. We don't do that. That's not our style. You know, we hope all clubs that have differences with each other can work out their differences, because to do otherwise is just pain and suffering for everybody. It really is. And so we look forward to seeing you guys and talking to you guys a lot over the next 37 days. And so everybody, have a great evening. Ride safe. Bye-bye.